change of a subject this morning for just a few minutes. We want to tell you, don't forget to call home.
All right.
Our thought today requires that our attention be focused on a very interesting word, that being the word home. The word home is a very small word consisting of only 4 letters, H-O-M-E, home. But even though the word home is a small word, it has such great value to each and every one of us who have come to know and to experience this thing called home. Now, Webster's dictionary defines the term home as a place of shelter, the house wherein an individual lives or resides. The building, if you will, where a person lives, Webster's dictionary defines that building as home. Now you may ask, who am I to disagree with Mr. Webster? But today I am forced to disagree with him. Well, you see, all that Webster requires to have a home is just a house, a place to live. But I want to tell you this morning that it takes more than a foundation and a roof and 4 walls to make a house a home. Staple singers used to sing that it takes more than a hammer and a nail to make a house a home. The building in which you reside is just a structure wherein you live. You see, there have to be some other things present in order for a mere house to become a home. Well, first, love has to be there. But no matter how beautiful and palatial your house may be, if love isn't there, you just can't feel at home. If love isn't in the building, you're not in a home, you're just in a house. Then there ought to be some happiness and some peace there. You see, I find that the world beats up on us enough. There's trouble on every side. We should be able to come home to some peace and some happiness. Not only that, but concern. Genuine concern must be there. We have to be concerned about whoever else is in the house. For when there is mutual concern, a shack can become a home. See, I didn't have the pleasure of growing up in a palace. It was not my privilege to be raised in a mansion. But you know one thing, home is a special place. It is just something about the word home that strikes a note in every individual. One writer wrote the words, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. us the way we really are. Women, when we're at home, we can take off the makeup, put our hair up in curls. It don't matter because we're at home. Men, when you're at home, you don't have to walk around trying to hold the old stomach in. It can fall all out over the belt, and it doesn't matter because you are at home. Home knows our ups and our downs. Home knows our strengths. And home knows our weaknesses. We don't have to put on a smiling face for an unfriendly world because we're at home and it just doesn't matter anymore. Oh, you know, I've had the privilege in my day staying in some of the very lovely and elaborate homes of our country. I've had the privilege of staying in some of the best hotels, privy to all the elaborateness and the luxury, and still tossed and turned all night long. Couldn't wait to get back home. Home is a special place. Everybody has a home. Your name may be different from others, but everybody came out of somebody's home. Home is where the first prayer should have been taught. Home is where my mother got me at an early age and taught me how to put my little hands together and say my first prayer. Now lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul will keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul will take. Home is where I learned respect for myself. Home is where I learned respect for my fellow man. Home, I tell you, home is a special place. Now, many of us have journeyed far, and now we have moved a great distance from our original home. Many miles stand between us and our home. But sometimes there comes a burning to go back home. But because life is so complicated now, so many times circumstances won't permit us to just pick up and go home. In this sense, I'm fortunate having been born and raised here in Baltimore. But I tell you, sometimes I feel like going back home. A couple of months ago, my brother was here, and as we left the church and we're going down Franklin Town Road, instead of making a left on Franklin Street, he went on across Franklin Street. And I didn't have to ask him because I knew where he was going. When he made the right on Loretta Avenue, Junior, he just had to go back home. And we drove past 2646, where we used to live. 2644, where the Scotts lived. 42, where the Smiths lived. Went on